Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what the game has for me today. Before I roll though, I should mention I miscounted in my last video. We're already at a 93 win streak, which is 3/4 of the way to the full 124 that we need to win with every character in a row on both maps with random weapons. So we'll see if we can get there. Obviously still a bunch of difficult characters remaining, but we're 3/4 of the way, which is a big milestone. A roll here, and we've got the bull, which I have not yet done on this map, right? Doesn't look like it, so this is a nice one, because of course we don't get to random a weapon at all, and instead just get to run around exploding. This character is one of the characters that I think is a little deceptive in how easy or how difficult it is. It's very powerful, but it requires a different way of thinking about the game. So you can get in trouble with the bull as a new player if you're not used to the considerations that you have to make in order to play this character successfully. Let's roll here, and I could take luck. Luck is very good on this character. Obviously, all of our damage is dealt at melee range because we're not using any weapons. Enemies have to be right on top of us for us to deal damage to them. So luck can help improve our healing by giving us consumable healing that we then immediately pick up. But I also really just want some harvesting, so I'm going to roll here, and I'll roll one more time, and we can pick up 5 harvesting to get the party started. I'm going to take the whistle. This is a great early game economy item for us that can boost our stats significantly if we get a couple loot aliens, and we should easily be able to kill the early game loot aliens just by running after them. And then I think we can do better than these items. There should be something we can buy for 25, so I'm going to do a reroll here. Unfortunately, we can't buy Weird Ghost on this character, even with a bunch of regen. Just slows your kill speed down too much, but we'll take a small fish. We want to one-shot every enemy. We don't care about attack speed, because it's not relevant for us at all, so very nice to get this item. I'll take a mushroom, and then I'll do one more reroll to see if we can get a nice economy item. We missed, but we've got a helmet, which is great to buy. You want as much armor on this character as you can possibly get, so obviously very important to grab that. What you're going to want to do on the bull is to move in such a way that you group enemies on top of each other like that, so you can kill a lot of enemies with just one damage instance taken. That will prevent you from tanking too much damage and having your HP fall. One thing that we're looking for is ways to kill trees, because this character needs an enemy to deal damage. You need to take damage in order to deal damage. So it's difficult for us to kill trees without enemies that chase us around. I'm going to take more harvesting, and then we're going to roll for more harvesting, but I'll take 3 regen. Regen is so important on this character. We definitely want to buy it when we can get it early. I'll pick up the recycling machine, actually, and just leave these 2 items locked, but I will do a reroll for 2. Obviously, we want dynamite. Increased explosion damage is exactly what we're looking for. There's a couple items in particular that are really good for the bull that we need to keep an eye out for. Anything that does damage to us over time, so blood donation or bloody hand, will trigger our explosions once per second, allowing us to deal damage without having to actually take a hit from an enemy. Also, anything that increases our explosion radius is super important. That matters way more than our explosion damage, because it gives us a much cleaner way to clear enemies if we have larger explosion radius. I'm going to reroll here. I really do want more harvesting, and we will pick that up. And then I'll take the dynamite. I will take the helmet, and Broken Mouth we do want as well. But let's grab the mushroom so I can lock Broken Mouth and get a reroll in here. I'll take a lemonade. Lumberjack shirt is nice. We can combo this maybe with Pocket Factory to have trees die on their own. Obviously, our damage should be high enough to kill the trees in one shot regardless, so it doesn't do anything immediately, but it will make it much easier for us to kill trees without enemies having to be involved. I could take boiling water, so we scale off of melee, ranged, and elemental damage on this character, so any of those damage types are good to buy. 42 for 2 elemental damage is kind of expensive. Typically, you're going to end up buying melee damage because you get it at twice the rate that you buy elemental or ranged damage at. It costs half as much per point of melee damage. And while boiling water can maybe work with scared sausage, stuff like that, we want melee damage because it has synergy with one of the items that we're really looking for, which is Rip and Tear, which can let us apply our explosion damage across the map very easily. So, typically you're going to want to build melee damage on the bull. One of the nice things about this character is as long as you can maintain your income, you don't have to worry too much about elite. You can always just run away from the elite, and you will survive because you have all this armor and regeneration naturally. I'm going to roll here. I'm looking again for harvesting if we can find that. Regen and melee damage are both useful, but I would love to pick up some harvesting here. Because if we get to 21 harvesting or higher, it'll start growing by 2 per wave, because the 5% increase rounds up. I could take luck as well, but I'm going to do one more reroll looking for harvesting. Unfortunately, I missed again, but I'll take movement speed. Movement speed is really nice for this character also, because it lets you catch enemies more easily. Take the coupon first, and then we can buy all these other items and do a reroll. Landmines. This is a way that we can deal damage to enemies that we're not standing on top of. So I'm okay building an engineering sub-theme. We already have Lumberjack Shirt, which makes the landmines better. We're building explosion damage, of course, when we see it, which makes them a little better. For 23, I think this is worth it. We'll take the Dangerous Bunny. Weird Food is great, and given that we have the Weird Food and the Lemonade already, I'm going to lock Alien Worm as well. We'll just buy out this entire shop. This is a character I think that's a little harder on Crash Zone than on Abyssal Terrors, because armor and regen are mostly all that matters on Abyssal Terrors. So this is a character that I think is actually a little harder on the original map, because you do need enough clear speed to be able to kill the larger number of enemies. But the individual damage instances you're taking are lower on Crash Zone, so there's some positives here as well, of course. Making pretty decent money at this point. I'm going to take 9 movement speed. We definitely want to catch up to enemies. Dangerous Bunny will save us a ton of money. Buy all these things and then roll. Increased pickup radius is really nice for this character, but I'm going to buy the Dynamite. I'll take the Alien Tongue. I'll take the Leather Vest. We haven't managed to boost any of our base damage stats yet, which I do want to do, so I'm going to lock the Boiling Water now. I'll do a reroll. We have no luck, so Cyberball is a way that we can kill enemies that are not directly adjacent to us, which is very useful, but for 47 with -2 luck, I don't think it's worth locking. Again, group the enemies on top of each other. You want to hit as many as possible with a single explosion so that you take as little damage as possible while clearing enemies. This will matter a lot more later when enemies do more damage per hit, but it's good to get into the habit of it in the early game in order to maximize your... just in order to make sure that you are ready to do it when you need to. I really want this loot, Alien. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it. Couple explosions. If I'd hit one more explosion, it would have died there. Scared Sausage. We're about to buy some elemental damage. We've got landmines. Again, this is a way we can deal some damage to enemies that aren't adjacent to us. So we'll take the Scared Sausage. I don't think it's going to be a critical part of our strategy, but we might end up going that direction. I'll take 3 ranged damage here. Obviously, we'd prefer if this was melee damage or elemental damage now that we have the Scared Sausage, but we do just need to boost the base damage of our weapon, which is our body. Gentle Alien, an amazing find. Increased enemies is super important for the bull. It gives you a lot more income and lets you explode more frequently, which matters a ton to this character. Then we will buy all these items. I'll take another Alien Tongue and a Dynamite, of course, and a helmet. We want as much armor as we can get. And if we can get to like 20 or 25 armor, then we'll be in great shape. Kill the healer if we can, just to make sure that any damage we do isn't being overtaken by the healers. We can let 1 or 2 of the eggs spawn for a little extra money, but we don't want too many of them to spawn because it will just decrease our damage output too much. Or put us under too much threat, because they do a lot of damage, and you have to hit them multiple times to kill them. You can see there, we needed 5 explosions to kill that one. And with a healer on the map as well, it can be very difficult. I'm going to play at slightly low health here, which is fine. Take a couple more hits, and then do a couple more explosions to try to clear some enemies. Back off and regenerate, and you can see there I was starting to take a little too much damage, which is why we need to get our healing higher. We'll definitely take some armor here. This shop we're going to reroll and could take crit chance, so our base damage will end up high enough that crit chance is pretty good for this character. The bull's damage can critically hit. It only gets 1.5 damage multiplier, but buying 7 crit chance is sort of like buying like 3.5% damage as a result of that, so it's a pretty good way to increase your damage output. But we're just going to take 4 regen. We just need more healing at this point. Buy all of these items, which is great, and then roll again. Lost Duck does cost me a bunch of damage, but I need to boost my luck, so I think I will buy the Lost Duck. I'll take the Alien Worm and the Shady Potion. Losing consumable healing is bad, but our luck is fairly low even after the Shady Potion, so I think that will be fine. I don't really mind capping my speed at 11. I'd like to get it a little higher, but we can buy the Shackles here. We have almost no percent damage. We're going to go up to 26% luck. To 26 luck, so 2.5% damage from the Pearl. But is that likely to pay off? Probably not. I do love Pearl as an item. I just think it's super fun, but I think in this spot we can't afford it. Actually got a scared sausage kill there, which is funny. And again, 2 explosions plus 3 scared sausage ticks. I guess we're 6 damage short of killing the chargers in 2 explosions here, which we definitely want to avoid. This is a tough, this is a tough wave for the bull, because it's a lot of high health enemies, or a small number of high health enemies, which means that we are taking a lot of damage every time we get hit, and not killing enemies with each of our explosions, which we really want to be able to do. Try to kill this loot alien if we can. We did get it, which is great. And play at slightly lower health just to make sure we're getting some enemy kills here, and then kill a couple more. And you can see we're starting to fall behind a little bit in income. That's okay, though. I'll take the Mastery here. We lose 3 range damage, but gain 6 melee, so it increases our damage output. Definitely want the percent damage, because our percent damage is very low. And then Shackles gives me a ton of regen. The range doesn't matter at all, but the regen is really nice. A roll here. Take a tree. We'll take another Dangerous Bunny. I don't need the book. It looks like we're not going to go the direction of having an engineering theme for the character at all, so we're just going to not worry about that. A couple more points in our base damage, like the Mastery that we found, 1 good melee damage level up, that kind of thing, would really put this run on lock, because right now our damage is a little bit low for where I want it. We're still one-shotting these horde enemies, but we should be one-shotting everything else. Really bad positioning there. I managed to avoid tanking all of those hits and not let the enemies help me kill the tree there at all. You can see also, you don't need to be afraid of dodge on this character. You'll often see the advice to avoid dodge because you want to take damage, of course. But dodge increases your effective HP by a lot because you have such good other defensive stats. And if you dodge one attack, you just move into a bigger group of move into the middle of a group of enemies and hit more with a single explosion. So dodge actually is fine on this character. It's not a high priority, but it's not something that you need to avoid picking up. We'll take 4 melee damage here, and then I could take 3 ranged. I could take 8% damage as well. Let's just pick up the 3 ranged damage. I think base damage matters more for us right now. Take the plant, dangerous bunny, and shady potion. Clockwork wasp, I could grab. We don't benefit from the movement speed. We've only got the 1 structure currently. It would be good if we ended up with Pocket Factory or something, but I'm not really going to worry about that. I'll take the coupon. Spyglass, pretty useless when we have double Dangerous Bunny. It's just never going to save us money. So we'll take the Little Frog and the plant, and then do a reroll here. Now I can maybe buy Cyber Ball. Our luck is a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and grab that. Garden, I will probably take. We have a decent amount of consumable healing, and I think we'll take a Boiling Water as well. Do a reroll. Fuel Tank is the same damage increase as the Boiling Water, but for, half again as much money, so we don't need that. Obviously, this one isn't, super exciting as a random weapon challenge, since there's no random weapon involved. But if we're going for a full win streak with every character, then we've got to play the bull on both maps. So we are happy to do so. The gentle alien that we found early is really coming in handy here. You can see how many additional enemies we're getting as a result. And I did manage to get that second loot alien, which is great. We don't have any use for range, so we're recycling the glasses. Another mastery, yeah, it's plus 3 damage, so it's fine. And 2 ranged damage isn't worth grabbing. I'll reroll here, and I'm going to keep buying even more regeneration. Not, of course, an incredible item for the bull. Both max HP and percent damage matter a lot, and we have no use for weapons at all. So the knot is... This is a time where there is no downside to buying knot. I'll take a tractor for sure. Sad Tomato is a little dangerous on this character because while we will regenerate pretty quickly, it does start us at low health. We need high health to kill enemies. But I think what we're going to do is buy the Snowball in case we find an elemental damage item in a box. This can be like 2 or 3 elemental damage, maybe, and could potentially boost our damage output. Snowball is typically very disappointing, but on this character might be okay. And so here, for example, it turns the energy bracelet into +1 damage net, because we gain 3 elemental, lose 2 ranged, and gain a crit chance. I don't think that's 4% crit and 1 damage is worth it. Actually, maybe it is. Maybe the Snowball lets us buy elemental or energy bracelet here, which is kind of nice. I'm going to take the snail. This is a way that we can increase our speed relative to enemies at this point, which is pretty important. I'm going to check my damage against the elite, but I don't think we're going to have the damage to kill it. Maybe we will, actually. Our damage is not bad, and I can use the other enemies to splash explosion damage onto the elite. You often just run away from elites on the bull, but this character is doing well enough that I think we can afford to fight it. My defensive stats are quite good. This also is an elite that just follows us slowly, so we can easily focus damage on it without being in too much danger most of the time. I'm going to regenerate, and then we'll make another quick pass. I'm going to pick up some consumable damage and explode a few more times on the elite here. Would love to have a rip and tear, explosion size, blood donation, and bloody hand. All of those things make it so much easier to fight elites, because it just makes your damage more consistent. You don't have to rely on careful positioning. But we did manage to get it. I'll take the tentacle here. We can heal using the tentacle explosions if we critically hit. Wow, what a find. This is exactly what we're looking for. Huge increase to our damage. Even works with the snowball. We get +1 elemental damage there. I'm about to reduce my movement speed, so I could take 12 speed, but I think 12% damage or 15 luck are more important. Let's grab some luck. We've got a cyber ball, and more consumable healing is very useful. I'm going to take the harvesting. We'll pick up the energy bracelet. take the snail over the sad tomato. We can wait another wave on sad tomato. We'll take a mushroom here and then do another reroll. Scar is good. I'll take a campfire. It does cost me more movement speed, but works with the snowball. This has been a very good snowball so far. Way better than it normally is. And I guess I'll buy the landmines. It'll give me a free reroll for 38, which is not a terrible bonus anyways. Really nice also that we bought all the increased pickup radius before finding the gnome, because it means that normally that's actually a pretty big penalty for the bull, decreased pickup radius, but we can afford it much more easily. So now that I have Tentacle, I also really want to boost my crit chance a little bit. That's a great way to heal for the bull, because you're going to be killing enemies every time you critically hit, so then you'll be getting a lot of health back. And of course you need that health back, because every time you deal damage, you take damage. Also really nice to find that tractor. The mid-game for this character often results in very low income, because this is where we start having to really manage our HP. So the tractor helps make sure that we are still making a decent amount of money every wave. I'm going to take the percent damage here. I could take dodge. Dodge is also good, but I do want to increase my damage even further. Take a scar. We'll buy out this whole shop. Roll here. There's a rip and tear. That's awesome. Sunken Bell, also a nice one for us. Peaceful Bee decreases my damage too much, so I don't think we can afford that. And without the free reroll, the landmines are a lot less exciting, so we're going to pass on that. I'll lock these two. We don't need a wheelbarrow at the cost of armor now, so we'll just roll again. So Rip and Tear can chain explosions across enemies, especially if we get some explosion size. It will help us with that quite a bit. Although it hasn't been happening yet. I'm going to back off and get some consumable heal from our garden here. I don't know if I'm just not seeing it or if the Rip and Tear explosions are not going off for some reason. It really looks like we're not getting them. But it's possible. Okay, there we go. They did actually go off that time. Get a few kills there, but we've managed to boost our harvesting enough that even if we have a wave that was sort of hard to kill enemies in, like that one, we still get quite a bit of income. I am now going to build dodge. You can see that our HP is starting to be a problem, so I want to make sure that we can maintain that. Estes Couch. Lowering our movement speed on this character is very, very painful, but it is a lot of regeneration. That's a very interesting option. You know what? Let's try it. I've never done Estes Couch on a bull build before, and I'm interested in giving it a shot. It's going to make it very hard to kill bosses, I think, but let's see if we can have some fun with it. I'm going to buy the lemonade, of course, and the gnome is also excellent again, so very happy there. Back off just a little bit. I'm going to take a few hits from not the elite while we try to put damage on it. This elite will charge at us. It would also wave 14, so there's going to be just a lot of random damage around the map that we're going to have to deal with. Sunken Bell cleared everything, but unfortunately, I hadn't killed too many of the summoners before the Sunken Bell went off. So what that actually did was just put a lot of summons on the map when the Sunken Bell went off, and maybe I should have avoided Sunken Bell for that reason. The dodge there helped us keep our HP high, so I'm just going to back off a bit. We might not kill the elite this wave, because the Sunken Bell actually put me in a really bad spot, just with the number of enemies on the field. Taking a lot of hits here, which is fine. We just need to get consumable healing. But we were able to survive. It's Not a great wave for us, but we made it through. I'm going to take the coil here. Knockback doesn't do anything on the bull explosions, but 7% damage is 7% damage. We'll recycle that. I'm going to recycle power generator because we're going to buy Estee's couch, and then I'm going to take 12% more damage. Let's pick up these items and then roll, and I'll take another alien tongue to offset the pickup range loss that we are experiencing. Starfish, cursed, 8% enemy damage. Really, really dangerous for the bull. Do we want it anyways? Cursed does make it much more appealing. It's going to pay for itself in like one wave, basically. But increased enemy damage is one of the worst things that we could possibly have for this character. I think we've got the regen to deal with it. With 129 regen, I think we're going to take the Starfish. Alright, so we're very slow. It's going to be so hard to actually get two enemies. We're going to get super greedy with this run because we have the Estee's couch. Normally, I would not recommend getting Starfish on the bull ever. But this is just a weird bull run, so... we'll see how it goes. If I could boost my melee damage just a little more, or the explosion radius. I know I've said the words explosion radius, 2 million times this run, but that is the stat that we care about the most. If we get just a little more of that, the Rip and Tear will start really helping us clear the enemies here, which would be a big deal, especially because with Estee's couch, we can't get to priority targets easily because we're so slow. More trees, sure. Bag will take. Duct tape, yes. And then more armor. Or more luck. I'm going to just take more armor here. We're going to really struggle not to take hits, so just having more armor is going to be really important. Take the Starfish, take Gentle Alien, take Small Fish. I'll buy the Silver Bullet, I guess, because we get the... Okay, there's a blood donation. That helps a ton with our Estee's couch plan, because now we don't have to specifically get hit by enemies. Roll here. Don't want the beanie. I don't need the feather. Let's roll again. Plastic explosive. Amazing. Do I want the wheat? I think it's too expensive for what we get from it, so I'll pass on the wheat. But sunglasses is good because increased crit damage is increased crit chance is one of the few ways we have to increase our damage, so we're going to want that. All right, well, those two items are the items we were looking for, blood donation and plastic explosive. So suddenly this run has really spiked in power level. The trees are honestly not that good for this character. We have no way to kill them other than with our explosions. And getting to them is so difficult with move speed this low. That time the Sunken Bell was good. It cost me an elite kill in the earlier wave, but it is still a good item for this character. That tree would actually have died just to the landmine. I didn't need to run after it. But obviously, you can't rely on that, really. Tanking a lot of damage. Just going to back up and not take a hit for a second here. And we did finally make a good income. That's because of the Starfish boosting our income from enemies dramatically. Here, I could just take 4 melee damage, and I think I will. Then we're going to buy all of these items, which is perfect. Beanie, cursed, we don't want. I will take the lemonade. We don't need Baby Gecko. Our pickup radius is very good. I'll take the turret. It can help just kill trees for us. And then we will take a treasure map. Alien magic I do want as well, but we'll grab small fish and we'll roll here. I'm definitely taking the claw tree. Schmoop, we can't afford. Losing this much damage would be really bad. Now I've got 69 luck. Nice. So we can buy all of these items, including the pearl. It's a decent boost to our percent damage. I'd love to reduce my movement speed further. For the Estes Couch regen, of course. And just because it's fun. I mean, if you're going to buy Estes Couch, you might as well go all the way. I do not recommend this item. If you are newer to the game, do not buy Estes Couch. You will lose so many runs. There are very specific runs where it's like, okay. And even then, it's not necessarily good. This run is working out fairly well, though, which is kind of funny. Fairy, obviously an incredible item for us. We don't need any attack speed at all. We'll take 16% damage, which is perfect. And then here we can buy all of these items. Yeah, we lose some luck for the pearls with the alien magic, but we need max HP and all those stats are great. Roll here. Bag will probably pay for itself. I guess we have lure and the boss crate, so we have a minimum of 3 crates next wave, so the bag is going to be pretty good, actually. I'll take bait. We can just kill those enemies. It gives us more damage. We'll take campfire, take the small fish, and then do a reroll here. Lucky Charm, that's probably worth buying. Yes, it cost me 3 damage, but the luck is going to make up for that somewhat with the pearl here. So now we can kind of chain explosions on top of the boss. When it moves into a lot of enemies, we explode, we take a hit, you know, and then we explode on the big crowd, and then some of them blow up because of rip and tear. All those explosions layer on top of the elite, and we get to kill it much faster. So that's why the elite fight has gone very smoothly this wave. No, the buffed buffed loot alien. Wave 18 is so brutal for loot aliens because they can get buffed and that increases their move speed. With this build, we can never catch them when that happens. One nice thing, too, is that because we have a cyber ball, we're sometimes killing enemies just with the cyber ball damage across the map from us. Then they explode with rip and tear and maybe start an explosion chain or just kill a tree or something. So we get a little bit of extra value from that. Bag has already paid back the money we spent on it, so anything from here is just profit. Charcoal is nice. We have a snowball, too. Cape, 20% dodge, but at the cost of 6 damage. That's too expensive, I think. We're recycling that. Baby Squid, we don't care about losing attack speed. This will get us probably 2 regen for 92. I think I'm going to recycle that. Baby Gecko I'll take just for the regen, though. And then here we'll take some crit chance. Adrenaline, this is another way to heal, which is pretty nice for this character, so we'll take that for sure. Scared Sausage, again, we'll take a cake. We have no ranged damage, so the baby with a beard isn't going to do anything. All of our damage is elemental damage, so the Ice Cube is pretty good. Treasure Map currently hasn't given us a single item yet, by the way, even though we got 4 crates there. And with only 1 wave remaining, it's not worth picking up. Definitely the head injury. Black Belt gives me melee damage, but at the cost of luck. I don't think we need that. Let's reroll. Spicy Sauce. This is a great way to increase our damage output. And Pocket Factory would be nice as well, but it's just too late to sort of build around the Pocket Factory. Take a Charcoal. Cauldron is going to be great for us. Also, more pickup range to offset the gnome's pickup range loss. What a crazy run. This was a blast. No pun intended, of course. It's tragic that we couldn't get the Pocket Factory. Every time I kill a tree and a turret doesn't pop out, I get sad, but it just didn't make sense to grab it at that point. So satisfying when you have Rip and Tear to walk into a big group of enemies and just watch the explosions chain across every enemy on the field. Up to 1100 materials, which is nice. We don't care about the burning damage activating slower at all. Frozen Heart, big boost of damage, big boost of crit chance. Great item for us. Also, we have a snowball. Alien Worm, I will take. Leather Vest, I'll take as well. Campfire will take, again, Snowball. This is like the best Snowball of all time, I think. I'll take 15 luck here, and then I could take 4 elemental or range damage. I feel like we can do better, though, and we'll take 8 melee damage because it's just more. Buy all of these items. Increase enemy speed. I don't want to boost my speed because it'll remove the Estes Couch regen. Don't want to decrease the number of enemies, so we do not want a Cursed Candle here. Gummy Berserker, also not good. Let's buy all of these items and then roll. I'll take a baby elephant. We'll take a cake. Another alien worm. I guess that just makes sense. We're not going to find anything else that helps because we wouldn't have had enough to buy the medal anyways. And then let's go see if we can defeat the bosses on wave 20. We're trying not to hit the second boss until I have used all of my duration of the Ice Cube bonus damage on the first boss. Just so that I don't, like, waste any Ice Cube damage. Obviously, it doesn't matter at this point. Our damage output is so high, and our defenses are so good, we can just, like, walk and stand inside the boss and kill it really quick. But just to sort of optimize our play. All right, let's take a look at our items. So that was a wacky run. We ended up making 338 off the recycling machine, which is nice. 745 off coupons, which also goes to show it was a really solid economy run, because we made a lot of money off coupons. 357 off Dangerous Bunnies, but it's even more than that because it decreases the price of all future rerolls as well. So these probably made us like almost 1,000 materials. The Scared Sausages didn't end up working that well, but it was fine. The Alien Worms cost us healing, but gave us a lot of healing. Normally not an item I love, but on this character it made sense, and we had a lot of other consumable healing to offset it. What else? The Shackles worked out. We got a lot of regen. The Little Frog was good. We ended up... What was our pickup radius at the end? Plus 100%. So even despite finding 3 gnomes, we ended up with good pickup range. Knot, of course, is excellent. The Snowball gave us 11 elemental damage. That's way over the average that I see for Snowballs. So this worked out really, really well because we found a lot of like campfires and stuff. Rip and Tear was surprisingly not that great. It did 30k damage, but usually you see a lot more than that on this character. Estes Couch for 34 regen was pretty good. 300 materials off bags. The Starfish gave us several hundred materials at least. And then obviously finding Blood Donation and Plastic Explosive really spiked the run. We'll take 2 items off Treasure Map. That's basically the same as Allure, so it worked out great. And what else? 6 HP recovered from Adrenaline. We didn't end up with that much dodge, but it's still a nice little defensive boost to have. And Spicy Sauce, even though we got it at the end, still did 8k damage. All right, well, that was a really fun run. Kind of neat to use items that you normally don't see. Also, Triple Gnome is kind of wild as well. And we did manage to turn this into another Estes Couch run. So that was great. As always, of course, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate that. Only 30 more wins to go, and we will have done the full win streak. So maybe it's doable. We will have to see. As always, of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you next time.